What's going on, guys? This is your boy Andy Matrix, and we're back talking about Disney. And it looks like Disney's trying to grow in the Asian market. That is right, guys, the Asian market. I am here at NikkeiAsia.com, one of the most reliable sources of information for Asian news, especially Japanese news, right? So Disney is mainly stationed. They are mainly stationed in Japan. And I guess they're going to be managing their Asian part of the business from Japan, right? Now, before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell for future notifications. Guys, I talk about anime, manga, video games, geek culture, Japanese culture. If you're into any of that stuff, then make sure to subscribe. Now, before we get on with the article, right? Before we get on with the article, the first thing I want to say is, Disney wants to grow in Asia, and the reason why they want to grow in Asia is because they've kind of reached their peak here in America, right? In North America, it's like America, Canada, and I think South America too, like Mexico, Colombia, Europe, England, all the English-speaking countries. They kind of reached a peak. They have about 140 million subscribers worldwide, and that's mostly English speakers, right? So the next thing to do is, because they want to go to the Netflix level, right? Netflix has over 200 million subscribers, something like that, worldwide. And they want to reach that level, or probably more than Netflix, but they can't do it here because they peaked. They got to do it somewhere else, right? And one of the first things I want to say is that they will not be able to get away with the same thing that they've been doing here in America. And a good example of Disney's hypocrisy, I'm sure you guys heard of this before, is when they release Star Wars in China, right? So here's the American poster. You see, he's got all the Star Wars, the Force Awakens characters, right? You got Finn, Rey, and then the Chinese release, they remove Finn, they shrink Finn all the way down for the Chinese release. Gee, I wonder, could it be that maybe, does Disney really think that in China they don't like African people? Could that be it? You see, and this is proof that a lot of the things that Disney does here in the West is absolute bullcrap, right? It's absolute bullcrap, because when they go to other countries, they absolutely change their morals completely, for the greens, for the dollar, so that they can make money. So every decision that they make is not really about, whatever it is that, whatever movement, whatever political agenda they have. It's really for the money. It's really for their investors, right? Like, their investors. And speaking of their investors, right? There's actually a rise. There are some investors that are speaking up against companies like Disney. I talked about ESG before, about like woke capitalism, right? It says an anti-ESG activist takes on Apple and Disney, right? So basically, it's a conservative investor. It looks like his name is Vivek Ramaswamy. Anti-ESG efforts are escalating. It says Apple and Disney face new pressure from the right. Yeah, because these people kind of forget that it's not just people that agree with them on their political side that invest into companies. It's also people from the opposite political side that invest into their companies. And as a result, they're going to start, people are going to start fighting back against ESG. And ESG basically stands for like environmental, like political movements, social movements, right? Everything like climate change, the rainbow people, and I don't know, all that stuff, right? All these new ideologies. Disney and all these other companies, they're always like talking about it, getting into politics, right? Which they have absolutely no place, because if your purpose is profits, then you should stay out of politics and do what you have to do to make money as a corporation, right? And but now let's go ahead and read what they have to, what Disney is doing in Asia. It says Tokyo Walt Disney Co. plans to nurture video producers and other creators in Asia to eventually expand the lineup of its Disney Plus video streaming services. Nikkei has learned as a race intensifies in the industry to secure skilled content creators. They're competing against Netflix. That's what they're talking about. It says plans call for choosing 100 to 200 participants in Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Australia, and other parts of the Asia Pacific region. Yeah, I mean, Squid Game, more anime, please. Right? But actually, I don't subscribe to Disney, so never mind. And then it says Disney Plus has 152 million subscribers as of the end of June, up to 14 million from the end of March. But growth has slowed in North America, like I said before, with other regions accounting for 99% of the net increase during the April-June quarter, meaning that other parts of the world. That's where they got their 14 million. So now they're going to move to Asia. It says the key to achieving the target between the 250 million to 245 million subscribers in 2024 will be signing up subscribers outside North America. The new training program is meant to increase original works created locally in Asia and spur Disney's growth in the region. Right. And here's the juicy part. It says, meanwhile, Disney's rival Netflix has entered partnership with Japanese anime production houses and has launched a studio in South Korea. You go Netflix. Honestly, when it comes to this whole like video streaming war, I'm more on the side of Netflix than Disney, right? Yes, it says it's working in nurturing to creators through such steps to supervising animator schools hosted by anime studios and receiving interns. Says only about 30% of people in Japan use paid video subscription services, according to a March survey by research company Intage. So the market is seen as having more growth potential compared with US, where the figure stands to 70-80%. Yeah, so they're looking to grow, and you're not gonna see the same thing that Disney's doing here in North America. You're not gonna see this in Asia. They might try to push it a little bit here and there, but you're not gonna see it, right? You're not gonna see the cultural things that Disney's trying to change here in America. And then in Asia, no, it's completely different values. And if they do try to do the same thing in Asia, guess what? Asians are actually like very conservative people from China, Korea, Japan, even in like the more poorer countries like the Philippines, Thailand. They're very conservative. They're not gonna deal with Disney's bullcrap. And whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Guys, this is your boy Andy Matrix. Godspeed.